Last day of phase one on the Live Hard program, and this program continues to bring major benefits. It's been a little bit of a break between my last video of 75 hard and starting phase one, so I'm excited to fill you guys in on all the details, the good, the bad, what to expect in phase one, and what it's like moving forward. Let's jump in. Phase one complete, and it's been a journey since I last made a video on 75 hard a few months ago. Phase one is the next step after you complete the 75 hard program. If you watched my first video on my 75 hard experience, you know all the requirements and all the ins and outs of the program. But there's something a little less known about this program. 75 hard is actually the first piece of a 4-part program created by Andy Frisella called Live Hard. In Live Hard, you have these 4 different phases. You have 75 hard, which is the most popular and the first piece of this 4-part Live Hard program. Here we know the requirements: 2 45-minute workouts, 1 must be outdoors, a daily progress photo, drink a gallon of water, take on a diet, consume no alcohol, and read 10 pages of a non-fiction book. And that lasts for 75 days. Then you have phase one. Phase one has all the same requirements of 75 hard, except you have to complete 3 critical tasks each day, take a 5-minute cold shower, spend 10 minutes doing visualization, and this lasts for 30 days. You can start this right after 75 hard, or you can take a break. Then there's phase two, which is another 30-day block, but it's just the requirements of 75 hard. For this one, you must wait at least 30 days after completing phase one to begin phase two. And then finally, we have phase three. Phase three is your last 30-day block. All the requirements of 75 hard and phase one, plus you must perform a random act of kindness and talk to a stranger every day. For this one, you must start the phase exactly 30 days prior to your 1-year anniversary of starting 75 hard. Now, all 4 of those phases make up the Live Hard program. But this video is all about phase one, and I just completed that on June 10th, 2021. First, I'll talk a little bit about my experience, the good, the bad, what to expect, and what's next over the course of Live Hard. Now, just briefly touching over the 75 hard requirements and what's changed a little bit as far as my nutrition and my training. I'm still following a macronutrient focused approach. However, it's changed a little bit along the way based on my goals. During 75 hard, the goal was to cut some weight. But now, since I've completed that part of the program, my focus is now building lean tissue. I'm taking on a larger caloric intake with higher protein, moderate fat, and trying to time my carbohydrates in a way that's more around my workouts. I first started experimenting with meal timing during 75 hard, so I don't have a ton of experience on that side of it, but I'm trying to see what works and what doesn't. As for the supplements I'm taking, I still take a multivitamin, whey protein, probiotics, and I've added in creatine monohydrate to aid in the growth of the lean tissue. As far as the reading 10 pages of nonfiction every day, I've been hitting some really good books lately, and here's some recommendations I have for you guys. Of course, Andy Frisella's 75 Hard book, Tim Grover's Winning, and David Goggins' Can't Hurt Me. These are such good books, and I would recommend you read these on this program. As for the 2 workouts a day, during 75 Hard, my workout routine consisted of doing CrossFit nearly every day with a walk, run, or jog outside for my outdoor workout. Like I mentioned, after completing 75 Hard, my goal was no longer to cut weight anymore, but instead to start building lean muscle. So now I've been following a more strength building and hypertrophy focused program instead of so much high intensity conditioning. Now I still do about 1 to 2 CrossFit workouts a week, but the main focus is about 5 to 6 days in the gym lifting weights. For my outdoor workout, it's still a walk, run, or jog, but occasionally I'll do a CrossFit workout outside. On the days that I'm not in the weight room lifting or at the CrossFit gym, my 2 workouts usually consist of a run, with the other workout consisting of either a walk with some stretching mixed in or some type of yoga workout. If you want more detail on the exact workouts that I'm doing and the why behind the training approach, let me know in the comments and I'll be happy to make a video on that. Now, as for the water intake, you know I still have this trusty Stanley 2-quart thermos. The progress pics are still coming along, and of course no alcohol throughout the program. Now that we've just talked about the 75 hard requirements in phase one, let's talk about these new tasks in phase one. The 3 additional tasks in this phase are: take a 5-minute cold shower every single day, perform 3 critical tasks daily, and spend 10 minutes every single day visualizing. First, let's talk about the cold showers. This alone changes your entire mentality. You want a real mental battle every single day? Here it is, front and center. Every single day you're faced with this decision: either quit and give in, or suck it up and jump right in. I'll be upfront and say it never really gets easy to do these cold showers every single day, but the biggest win is that my mind stopped thinking about it. It became more of a task, not an obstacle. It became something that my mind automatically accepted as this is what needs to be done rather than fighting with that voice in my head. Now, like I said, some days were a little easier than others, and some days I completely hated every second of it. But to be honest, as the 30 days went on, from a mental standpoint, it did become easier to decide to just jump in. The other major benefit that I got from these cold showers is that it gave me a huge boost in energy. If I was tired or feeling a little fatigued, it would definitely wake me up and get me feeling energized throughout the day. To be honest, I much prefer getting out of a cold shower now because my energy levels are higher, my alertness is increased, and when I get out of a warm shower, I just feel more relaxed and a little bit tired. Now, kind of a crazy story, I've done a ton of ice baths, but I've never really taken cold showers. And I'll be honest, it hits a little bit different to have that water flowing on you rather than just jumping into a tub. In my own opinion, it's a little bit harder to control your breathing when taking a cold shower compared to just jumping into a tub. There's just something about that constant stream of water that just kept me so cold. But on one of my first few days in phase one, I didn't do a good job of controlling my breathing, and I actually had to stop for a second, get out, warm back up, and retry this. I started getting a little bit lightheaded because I wasn't breathing properly. So I highly recommend that you focus on taking deep, controlled breaths and get your body temperature up a little bit before you jump in. If that's going for a run around the block, doing some burpees, push-ups, or even doing it immediately after your workout, I definitely recommend getting your body temperature up. After taking that approach, I was able to see the benefits of taking the cold shower as well as increasing my tolerance for them. Next, we have the 3 critical tasks that you have to perform each and every day. To be honest, this was the toughest part for me. Did I get a ton of value from it? Of course. It will absolutely force you to be productive, so don't try and slack here. The rules here for these 3 critical tasks are that they have to be things that get you closer to your goals. These daily critical tasks can't be something generic like eat healthy or go to the gym. You have to make them specific. So what I mean here is, how are you going to eat healthy? Eat 5 servings of vegetables every day. Or what are you going to focus on when you go to the gym? Another key point in these critical tasks is that they have to be something that you don't normally do. If it's something that you do in your routine on a daily basis anyway, we can't put that on our critical task list. For example, if you despise running, but you're trying to get better at running, a good example would be do 8 by 100 meters at the track or run a mile. Something that forces you to get out of the box a little bit and get outside the comfort zone. Personally, my critical tasks were focused a lot around building YouTube content and on the execution side of preparing the videos, shooting the footage, and everything involved with the content creation side. And I also threw in some things that I'd been needing to do, like upgrading my studio set. And finally, the last additional requirement for phase 1 is to spend 10 minutes visualizing every single day. This particular requirement is an absolute favorite of mine. If you've been watching my videos for a while, you know how much I stress the importance of visualization and putting it into your daily routine. Now, I've been doing some visualization for a while, but I never really put a time frame on it. So this 10-minute window really helped me keep consistency to make sure that I hit my 10 minutes at the very minimum. The thing with visualizing that makes it different from daydreaming are these 2 criteria. Number 1, you absolutely have to use your 5 senses to create this image as if it has already happened. And number 2, without question, you have to do the work to get there. A ton of people think of visualization as just thinking of a scenario in your mind and hoping that it happens. The problem is the mind has no real attachment to that. Keep in mind that the brain has a tough time differentiating between thoughts and reality. It just acts as the processor. The more emphasis you can put on making your vision as real as possible, the more benefits you're going to see from your visualization. I'm talking about implementing your 5 senses: see, touch, taste, hear, and smell. I know it sounds odd to implement all those, but just hear me out. Let's take this example that your goal is to lose weight. When you visualize, the most obvious sense to use is sight. What does your new body look like? What do your habits look like? What does your overall entire lifestyle look like? You can easily start to see these things. Now, what does it feel like? How does it feel to have increased strength and endurance in your new physique? And of course, what does it sound like? What does it sound like to hear people congratulate you on the accomplishments throughout your journey? Now we're getting really specific. What does this vision smell like? What does the food smell like that you're consuming on a daily basis? What does this food taste like that has created this amazing physique that you've built? You see, using your 5 senses isn't really hard in visualization. It just takes a little creative thought. And the last point of visualization is doing the work. Books like The Secret and Think and Grow Rich are so often taken out of context because people interpret the text as if they just need to think about something and it will eventually become a reality. If I just think about this great scenario happening, it will eventually occur in my life. The problem is these people don't do the work to get to the goal, nor do they create the lifestyle to align with having this goal. I mean, we can't lose weight if we just visualize about it. We actually have to put in the work and the habits to create this lifestyle. The thing that visualizing does is it helps place you in the right situations. You constantly replay this image in your mind. And if your work ethic aligns, eventually you find yourself in that situation. It all starts with thought. Now for some quick tips on succeeding in phase one. First, you'll want to schedule these additional requirements. It can easily get overwhelming if you don't stay on top of your additional tasks aside from the 75 hard tasks already included. Planning your 3 critical tasks early, getting your cold shower and visualization out of the way early in the day are going to help you start with big wins and build some quick momentum throughout the day. Next, keep the mindset of quality over quantity. When you get overloaded with things to do in a day, it's normal to want to just rush through and get them all done. You'll feel more productive, but don't fall into this trap. You're creating a very bad habit of creating subpar results for yourself and not putting in quality work. The 10 minutes of visualization, reading the 10 pages of nonfiction. These things require total focus to get quality out of the work. Create this standard within these habits of performing the work to the highest quality, and you'll start to see that in your everyday life. And finally, 30 days feels like a breeze to 75 hard. You've already crushed 75 days of consistency and discipline. Although the stakes are higher in phase one and there are some more requirements, you're talking about 1 month, 30 days. Stay zoned in and focused on the end goal of creating this more resilient, stronger version of yourself. Now, what's next for me after phase one? Of course, I'm going to be sticking with the Live Hard program and completing that for the rest of the year, and I'll be dropping some content related to that and tips along the way. But before that, I want to leave you with one small piece of information to help you succeed in a long-term program like this. When I completed 75 Hard and took a break between that and phase one, I'll tell you one of the hardest parts was building momentum back into phase one. I let up just the slightest amount and it began to snowball quickly. What I'm saying here is that we're all human and programs like this can bring out the best in us. But if we don't have something keeping us accountable, something bigger that we're working toward, you can easily lose progress in a flash. So just because you finished 75 Hard, the journey does not end here. If you're really in it for the purpose of this entire program, to create this improved version of yourself, then you have to apply these new skills and this new level of discipline somewhere in your life. Don't let up and keep the hammer down. Find that greater purpose to keep you going and don't let up. Now, if you have any questions about the program or want to talk about all things mental toughness, productivity, or lifestyle development in general, drop me a comment and let's get the conversation going. Now, if you made it this far and you enjoyed the video, go ahead and hit that like button for me. And if you haven't subscribed, give me a subscribe, and I'll be bringing you more content related to building a high-performance mindset and lifestyle development. Thanks for watching.